Right, you lot, let's talk Euro Villa. That is right, Euro Villa are back. We play Ajax in the Europa Conference League on Thursday, 5:45 kickoff. Watch it live on BT Sports. Everyone getting out, and everyone that's managed to go to Amsterdam, get a bit of time off work to go and watch the game. I am very, very envious. Take my hat off to you, good sirs. But we're back. It is our first leg. We're away from home. Some team news quickly. John Duran and Diego Carlos are back in training. No news on Pau Torres just yet. So that will be reflected in my starting lineup, which we will get into right about now. Let me squeeze myself over here on my little wheelie chair and bring up the lineup. As you can see, starting in goal, Emi Martinez. Of course, he is going to be our goalkeeper for, I think, all competitions going forward in this season, considering it is just the Premier League and the Europa Conference League as well. So he gets the nod in goal. Left back, I am actually going to change things up and give Luca Digne his first start. Came off of the bench and scored an absolutely vital goal against Luton in the Premier League last week. And I think he needs to get back to full fitness now, so it only makes sense to start giving him some starts and resting Alex Moreno, who's had to play that position non-stop for however long he's had to do it now, at least 4 or 5 weeks. And then in centre-back position, Clement Longley keeps his position, of course. Pretty much been a stalwart in our Europe sides this season. And then next to him, I would throw, if he's ready, Diego Carlos right back into the starting lineup to allow Ezri Konsa to start at right back and just make us a little bit more defensively secure than Matty Cash offers down that right hand side. Literally just to help us out, because Ajax are going to be obviously at home, you know, in the Johan Cruyff Arena in Amsterdam. All of their fans are going to be behind them, so I feel like we need to be defensively solid and make sure we don't concede an early goal, especially to a team like Ajax with such pedigree. Left mid, I've gone for John McGinn. No news on the Jacob Ramsey injury as of yet, so I assume McGinn will shuffle back out, and I've done that to allow Tim Arogbenham, who I think has actually been really impressive in the cameos that he has made this season, again for that defensive solidity in this Ajax game. I think that's going to be crucial. He's a big lad as well, adds some physicality in there. He may not be the best footballer in the world, and I'm talking about Tim, I'm talking about Jordan Henderson, who we'll get onto. But if he's playing for Ajax, he's going to be physical in there. He's not going to stop running for 90 minutes. He's going to be putting himself about, and I think it'll be a great test for Tim to test himself against that and play that holding midfield role that he actually looks like he can perform to a high level. Next to him, of course, our Brazilian wizard in Douglas Luiz, who should be pulling the strings in this game. No disputing that he should be in there starting. And then out on the right, probably our second best player this season, our most improved player for me, Leon Bailey. I'm hoping that he can run absolute rings around this Ajax defence. Moving on to up front, Ollie Watkins, of course, Premier League player of the season so far for me, just due to his goal contributions. And then next to him, I've dropped Tielemans and allowed Leon Bailey, I've already said him, Moussa Diaby to get a start. Again, that pace could be a killer to this Ajax defence, and he's just started to look like he's coming back into the form that we all knew he could possess earlier in the season. And having him and Leon Bailey down the same side would actually hopefully give us that outlet. I think we are going to be defensive in this game, in the sense of I think Ajax will be coming out to play good football. So imagine them two on the counter attack, Bailey, Diaby with Watkins down the other side as well. Mamma mia, it is a spicy meatball, and I think that could be a team that could bring us back a 1 or 2-0 result to Villa Park. Again, I've set us up defensively. That's just how I would do it. I'm sure, Emery's a better manager than me. I've never managed a football team in my life apart from a football manager, so he'll know what he's doing. But just some thoughts on stuff that we can do. Obviously, I haven't heard his press conference and his injury reports just yet, but just a couple of ideas that I had floating around in my brain that we could try for this game, because it's so important. I think we can't stress how important it is, and defensively we need to be solid, and I think that's the best way to do it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments though below. It's an interesting one. Let's look at Ajax, how they've been lining up, how they've been doing, a little bit of opposition scouting for my Villa fan. So as you can see here, we bring up Ajax most recent result, formation, team, etc, and quite an impressive one really. They beat FC Utrecht, I've probably butchered that, who are 8th in the league, 2-0 despite having a player sent off in the game. They play an interesting formation, a 3-4-2-1, as you can see. Their captain, Jordan Henderson, who we all know very, very well from his time at Liverpool. And then up front, Brian Brobby. We're going to go from the top down. Brian Brobby, their top goal scorer this season with 15 goals. A young player, full of energy, absolutely rapid, a big bloke as well, quite physical, so that'll be one where I'm thinking Diego Carlos should probably be on him, because it's going to be a physical battle. And then Hinson and Taylor in behind them, and then in behind them Sosa on the left, Muja on the right, like I say, Henderson and Mansverk in the middle. Kaplan, Hato and Wrench, who got sent off. I don't think that affects Europe games, I could be wrong, making out their three in defence, and then Ramaj in goal. Again, a lot of players that we haven't heard of, and a lot's been made of Ajax's form this season. We scroll across to their league table here. They are currently 5th, 4 points behind AZ Alkmaar, who we have already beaten this season in the Conference League. I think we beat them anyway. Did we beat? I'm pretty sure we did. In the Conference League, like I say, a team we've already played and won against. So they're above Ajax in the league, you'd think, right? But I want to point out something about Ajax. Like I say, they were like near the relegation zone towards the start of this season. They were in turmoil, and that's because they are a club in transition. I bring up their departures this season here. They lost Mohamed Kudus to West Ham, 43 million, a good player. Jurgen Timber to Arsenal, 40 million. Edison Alvarez to West Ham, 38 million. Calvin Bassey to Fulham, 22 million. Mohamed Darami to that's that Rems, isn't it, in 12 million. That's 5 probably of their starting players last season they have lost for big money. They were a team in transition, and now their results are picking up and they're flying back up the Eredivisie table. Like if I bring it back up here, all the way up to 5th, 4 points behind 4th. Clearly they're not going to catch up to the likes of PSV, who are absolutely flying this season. But you look at the goals they've scored, 3rd most in the league. They are really, really coming back with a vengeance, and this is not going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. On top of that lineup there, they've also got Chuba Akpom as well, that they can bring on, a player who's done really well in the Championship, and sometimes those types of players just need that extra extra bounce to kick on in their career. I understand he is getting on a bit as well, and they've also got other players off the bench that can hurt us, that can come on and change a game. I think Berghaus gets regularly double figures for assists and goals every season, and been an absolute player for him when he came from Southampton. So they've got players that we need to look out for. They are a team on the up. They're a team in transition who seem to be figuring out how they want to play, and they seem to be winning games now. So it's not going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. What do I think is going to happen? Let's get right into it. So there's no understating, this is one of our biggest games of the season so far. It's a 2-leg fixture. We go to the Johan Cruyff Arena against Champions League winners, Eredivisie winners. How many bloody times do you want to count up how many times they've won that? Multiple times. Absolutely pedigree in Europe, not impeccable. A team in transition, but a team that are figuring it out, which is always scary when you play that team that's just like figuring stuff out now. You have to be a little bit worried about going to their ground, their stomping ground in their country. It's a new country, the flight, the travel, the plane, etc, etc, etc. It's going to be tough, there's no doubts about that, hence why I feel like we should be setting up defensively. They've got players who can hurt us, there's no doubt about that. Jordan Henderson will probably have a point to prove against English teams, even though it's kind of his decision to go and try and get some money in a country that goes against all of his beliefs, but the less said about that the better. They're looking as well strong defensively, getting clean sheets and grinding games out now as well. In terms of Villa, we are starting to pick up some results again, which is good to see after a little dip in form, and I think the most important thing it's just going to be at least to bring a draw back to Villa Park, when then we can try and impose ourselves on them. That's the most important thing for me. We can't go there and lose. If we do lose, we need to keep it to 1-0, but that shouldn't even be a thought on the table. And I think we have the strength to go out there and prove that Euro Villa are here to win this competition, to go deep in this competition. I think we're favourites for it. We need to go and impose ourselves in Amsterdam against Ajax. I can't believe I'm saying it, and then bring them needing a result back to Villa Park, where we can impose ourselves again in Birmingham and give them a taste of what Villa are back. The giant has risen, the giant has awoken, and we need to be teaching everyone in Europe a lesson. What do I think is going to happen in this game then? I am confident. I think, we're going into this game with a good run of away form specifically. The Villa fans are going to be in great voice in Amsterdam. I'm seeing loads on Twitter that have managed to get tickets and travel over, and we need to be behind the boys, and I think we are going to get a 2-0 win. I'm going for it. A 2-0 win. A clean sheet coming back to Villa Park. 2-0. I'm going with Ollie Watkins and Moussa Diaby to get the goals. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new for regular Villa and fitness content. And I will see you guys soon. Up the Villa. Be nice to everyone.